Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Dan, it was a third goal in 3 for Sam Nombe, and it was another draw for Exeter City.
Another draw.
Another draw.
Lots of draws.
Yeah, more draws than a large bedside table.
More draws than Marks and Spencer's.
Good. More draws than Tony Hart.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a draw.
Yeah.
If you missed it, listener, City 2.
A 2-2 thriller.
2-2 thriller at home to Warsaw, not Warsaw.
Walsall.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds like a kind of 90s R&B / hip-hop kind of, artist, doesn't it?
Warsaw.
Walsall.
Oh, yeah. Or like Warsaw. You could mix it up.
Oh, war, yeah.
Mix it up all the time.
Saw the wall.
Yeah. No longer sponsored by Poundland, but Exeter City compensated for it by giving away some bargain defending.
Yeah, a couple of Poundland tackles, wasn't
it?
It
really was.
We started actually very brightly.
Very brightly. Let's say that. It was brighter than the weather, which was absolutely honking.
Yeah. Although just kind of calmed down for the match, didn't it? And everyone's wondering if the pitch would hold up to it.
Held up beautifully.
Is the drainage going to hold up?
Yeah.
So far, so good. First real test, but we'll see.
You know, also had a test. The goal net.
Yeah. Well,
Broke.
we'll come to that. Because
right.
let's come to that now, because that happened pretty early on, didn't it?
Did, yeah.
I was thinking it was when they scored. Basically, sort of like a bit of strap came off or something, didn't it? Or like
a peg came free.
And they had to get the ground guy, I believe he's called Chaz.
Yeah.
To sort of like jog round.
Is he Chaz or Chad?
I think it's Chaz, isn't it?
I don't know.
He's not American. Chad.
Of course, the name Chad originates from Somerset and Chaddar Garge.
Of course, yeah, famous cheddar cheese. But he got up there with his wrench and fixed it. And then we took an early lead, either before that or around that time.
Yeah.
Nice little bit of work down the wing.
Yep.
Sweeney ball in, I believe.
Yep.
And Tim Dieng with, I think, his third goal for City.
Yeah.
Definitely his second header. I can't remember all of them. Maybe it's his third header. I don't know. But it's good to see him in that box, isn't it?
It was lovely to see. That was the 4th minute, Dan.
Was it?
Mm.
It probably was before the goal incident then.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm not sure. We said it. I think we said it before. I wasn't quite expecting him to be like in both boxes as much as he has been.
No.
I don't know why, but I was a bit surprised. But good. I mean, not a great looking header. Sort of like, yeah, a bit of bounced down and up, but whatever. They all count.
If that was child's cricket, if the goalkeeper caught it behind his back, Tim Dieng would have been out.
Why?
2 bounces.
Oh, right.
You ever play that?
I'm not a cricket boy.
1 hand, 1 bounce?
1 hand, 1 bounce I'm aware of, yeah.
I think I might have made up the other one.
Right.
Anyway.
Cully rules, is it?
Is something like that. And it certainly does rule. So, yeah, Dieng planted it clean on the ground and then it went over the keeper, didn't it?
Yeah, looped up.
Yeah. Very nice.
But yeah, brilliant start.
What a start.
And then from there, nightmare.
It was a bit, wasn't it?
Well, they were all over us.
We seem to want to have a large portion of the game where we're completely overwhelmed.
Yeah,
we seem to like that.
I was originally putting it down to, we're kind of slipping about here a bit. People were missing passes. It's kind of one of those days a bit where but I think it was more that people were everyone was just a little bit kind of sloppy.
There was a lot of sloppy.
And from people you didn't really expect it from as well, but I mean, George Ray sort of slipped or let this player in behind him one point, and luckily, the guy missed the target with a whole goal to aim for. But Cameron Dawson, who had a really good game, didn't have to do a huge amount, but did everything, narrowed the angle nicely there, and never looked like going in really. But for a minute, you just thought, goal, and Ray's on the deck, But
should have been a goal.
It
really
wasn't just him. Everyone seemed to be a little bit kind of sloppy with the passing and kind of hoofing it a bit where we didn't really need to, or a lot of kind of booting it out. The ball went out down on the railway line about 5 times in the first half.
Yeah.
This little kid kept running around to see it. It's like, mate, it's long gone. You're not getting that back.
No. It's now the property of Network Rail.
Yeah.
Do you think up Network Rail's headquarters, wherever that is, they've just got the lost property room and then the lost football room?
I reckon they must send someone down to get them at some point, wouldn't they?
On the line.
well, not off the line, but if they're just like on the grass verge, or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit sloppy, and they were kind of. It looked like the goal was coming for a long time, didn't it? There was a goal mouth scramble.
Yeah.
That I don't know how they didn't put it away.
Yeah.
One of their guys' absolute air shot at one point. And it needed changing, didn't it?
Yeah.
It looked like to me like they were obviously four at the back kind of thing, and they were just kind of. We obviously work our way down the wings. That's the way we do it in this formation. We use those wing backs. They combine with the forwards and combine with those midfield players, but we work it down the wings. And we couldn't because we were outnumbered on each wing, 2-1. So the wing backs couldn't get anywhere near forward. Sweeney was having to come across on the right. Hartridge coming across on the left, leaves huge gaps in the middle. But so they were cutting through us, like a hot knife through butter. And basically sort of at times sort of playing with one centre back as a result. So you couldn't carry on. And so I think we changed it a little bit just before half time. He kind of shifted the shape a bit, didn't he?
He did, but the damage was kind of done. The defence was melting away like clotted cream on top of a hot Christmas pud, and the referee was terrible. I
mean, only as bad as they always are.
I don't know. I think he was exceptionally awful.
But we say that every week.
They seem to be setting new low.
I've seen him do worse, but he was kind of consistently a bit bad. But they had this penalty shout, which was like,
that was definitely a
his
penalty.
legs swiped, and it wasn't a penalty. And then I think because we'd had a vague shout for a handball at the other end a few minutes before, he kind of like, I think his instinct was like, I won't give that one either.
Yeah.
Given it's early, it's the first half, whatever. And then Harry Kite, they get in behind again. Harry Kite, wrong side, doesn't need to dive in at all.
No.
Takes the guy out. It's less of a penalty than the first one, but it's definitely a penalty.
Yeah.
And,
when no one argues on the pitch or in the big bank.
No.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you've already got away with one.
Oh, so that was put away.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
I don't know the fella's name, but that's 1-1.
Yeah. And that's half time.
And that's half time.
So there's like you said, there's some suggestion the formation was changing.
Yeah, but then 2 subs at half time.
Yeah.
So big old. In a way, I think I was kind of thinking Matt Taylor just sort of said in his post-match interview, like straight out, just came out and said all these things. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And it's like, all right, cool. Well, that's the podcast done then. Do you want to do it? They are doing it. Exeter City have got their own podcast now.
Yeah, Matt Taylor doesn't yet feature.
He won't be up for that, would he?
No, he's not a podcast listener.
Well, maybe not.
If it's not on the gramophone, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
I've heard him say that.
I've seen him walking around town with a gramophone strapped on his shoulders.
That's not him. That's Uncle Bobby.
I wish it was.
Yeah, so half time and then a couple of changes. So Kite hooked. An act of kindness, I think. And Sweeney.
Sweeney had been bad, hadn't he?
Well, yeah, but he got the assist.
Yeah.
When you doubled up on the, he couldn't really do his thing. Because
But he was.
He was only as sloppy as Hartridge or Ray.
Maybe. Do you think we notice it more because it's Sweeney?
Well, I think so. I think people do. And the other thing about Sweeney is like he'll do a couple of kind of wrong things, but he always does good stuff too. And there's a few things that kind of chances or runs that he saw off really nicely actually.
Yeah.
And it could have been worse. Sloppy as we were, we could have been 2 down by half time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he comes off, and then Josh Coley is the other one.
First start, we believe, isn't it? Not start, sorry.
Well,
First
yeah,
appearance.
that's his debut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we know so.
Okay.
And I thought he looked, pretty good.
Yeah.
It worked, didn't it? The formation.
Well,
change.
it did. So
very much nullified that exact threat that was apparent. We got, and then in the second half we used the wings really well. Like Coley less so, but it seemed to be all going like through Josh Key as it tends to do. Who didn't have a very good first half either, but did improve as they had more time on the ball really.
Worth saying, of course, that we were missing 2 of our potential changes or perhaps starters.
Well, the last time we made that double sub, I think it was it was that Sutton game. Those were the 2 that came on to change it, weren't they? The 2 you're talking about.
So Kyle Taylor's got the COVID.
Yep.
And Edwards Awara has got the flu.
Right, yeah.
So neither of them on the bench or in the starting. So yeah, Kite probably wouldn't have started. Taylor would have started.
Hang on a minute, didn't Archie Collins come on as well?
Archie Collins did come
Collins
on.
came on for Kite, and Sweeney came off for
Coley.
Josh Coley. Yeah.
And then pretty quick, what was it? 5 minutes in, won a penalty.
Yeah, was it that quick? Was it?
Yeah, I think
Can't
so.
remember. Yeah. So Tim Dieng again.
Yeah.
Is that an assist?
What if you win a penalty?
Yeah, I don't think it is it? But sometimes I think in sort of like, old versions of FIFA or something, they give you an assist for it or something.
Maybe, but that's a whole different statistical analysis, isn't it? Like, we know how many penalties Jack Grealish has won.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, you do. I don't.
Well, I don't either, but
Right.
someone does.
Yeah, someone does everything.
Uh,
How's our XG?
Yeah, I got no idea. XT's the other one at the minute, isn't it?
What's that?
Threat.
Expected threat. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
Anyway, I got none of those.
We won't be
statistics.
getting into that anytime soon.
No, we will not.
I quite like the idea of it. I'm not like kind of like one of these kind of like, I'm against these things. I just don't really understand it.
I mean, our main expected threat is like global warming, isn't it? So
I mean, yeah,
underneath that, it's all insignificant.
really it is, yeah.
But anyway, there we are. We got the drainage.
Continued war in the Middle East.
Yeah. Ricketts.
Not so much a expected threat, rickets, I think.
Yeah, all right. Well, anyway, Matt J stepped up, looking like he had rickets a bit to some extent for the penalty, and there was some questions around us on the terraces. Should he be the one to take it? He missed one quite recently.
Yeah, I think he's missed that.
That was Orient away, wasn't it? He missed that one.
Yeah, so he's missed 2 penalties in a row now, and yeah, he got a bit lucky with a couple of ones before that kind of dribbled over the line. I mean, like we said, everyone around was going like, give it Nombe, give it Nombe. Afterwards, you should have given it Nombe, which I kind of, I don't know.
Very accurate.
I don't know what Sam Nombe's like at penalties, but I mean, we were thinking, yeah, that's probably it now. And then, like I said, doing our work for us, Matt Taylor said in his interview, yeah, he's not doing, that's it, he's not doing them anymore.
Oh,
He just said his confidence is gone and give it to someone else.
fair enough.
But that's what,
I mean, that's how it works, isn't it?
That is how it works. Sweeney used to take the pens.
He did.
Maybe he'll be back on them.
Well, Jay...
He lost it. Do you remember Sweeney lost it? He was on a hat trick. And he hadn't missed a penalty for about 2 years.
Of course.
And then he missed it. And then he missed another one, and that was it. Never took a pen again.
What a way to go. Jay, it wasn't saved. Hit the bar.
Hit the bar, whatever.
Clanged it.
Miss is a miss.
I know.
From what I've seen, obviously I saw that penalty shootout against, was it Chelsea under 23s?
You don't know.
And
you were there, I wasn't.
Yeah, I can't remember if Nombe played or scored, but Giovanni Brown definitely put a pen away pretty convincingly. So maybe we give it to him.
It was the Carabao that was against whoever. I can't remember.
Right, that goes to pens too.
Yeah, I do remember because the keeper scored the...
Oh, yeah, of course. That old Premier League keeper or whatever he was, or some old journeyman keeper.
Yeah.
He scored and saved them all.
Who was that game against? I can't even remember.
Oh,
Night game.
No, who cares?
Anyway. That was... So, yeah, Nombe and Brown scored in that one. But that was, disappointing to have the opportunity to put ourselves back in front again. Jay misses. Obviously, rebound gets cleared. Then we're better, aren't we? We're better with the 4 at the back. Second half. Looks like an improvement.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's worth saying as well that we didn't get much out of, even after the formation change, we didn't get much out of Matt J, or out of Matt J especially.
Yeah.
Not just the penalty miss. I mean, fair enough. He puts it in. We might be saying differently, but he didn't play particularly well.
No.
I think it's one of his kind of worst games of recent times. Just ineffective. Again, sloppy like the others. And obviously in that formation, he's kind of in that kind of, we'll call the Nicky Law kind of role in the hole, basically. And he just kind of didn't, those combinations with Nombe weren't really there, do you know what I mean? Which is what you kind of want for that kind of thing, really. But I mean, it's just an off day. We know Jay's decent, and we know he'll probably be back to his best at some point. But and same with Brown. I mean, but the difference is that Brown did affect the game, whilst not having a very, very good game. Like one thing we've noticed about him is great touch, isn't it? You know, and like his touch seemed to be a bit off today a few times. Saturday, a few times, and but then, I mean, talk about touch. What a little dink over the top that was from Brown.
Yep.
Just, I mean, like I said, you don't play particularly well. You can pull one little bit of class out like that.
Yeah.
Lovely little kind of dinked sort of volley over the defenders. Exactly what you need to be doing for Nombe. In behind. Goes pretty wide. Tight angle, isn't it? But he's kind of like slots it in. We were saying for the big bank, it looked like it kind of rolled in. It kind of like took about an hour, didn't it? But it doesn't really look like that in the
No.
replay.
That tells you everything. I'd say this is really a massive quality of Nombe's. He doesn't look that fast, right? But if he starts behind a defender, he invariably gets into a place where he can muscle them off the ball.
Yeah, he's strong in that way. He's really good,
and he's quick enough.
Yeah,
and he doesn't.
And over a short distance, you don't need. I mean, we only need to be quick over a short distance. Really. He's not legging it down the wing.
No,
but that we spent half the game, especially before we switched the system into kind of like, booting it up. He had no chance in the air against those two.
No.
Big lads at the back. He's not Bowman.
No.
He's not Jaden Stockley. He's not going to win a lot of headers. He's not going to get a lot of knockdowns. And even if he does, there's no one there. But it's not like there's no one there running in behind. He's the one who should be running in behind. That's when you maybe think perhaps Amond and Nombe could be a good partnership. Maybe those two together. We did see it briefly, I think, before.
Yeah.
I can't remember when, a little while back. But then, if that's going to be, because Taylor basically said again, like it's going to change. Like he's going to change. Well, presumably, he's saying we might start games in that system. Now, does he carry with Matt J? I guess he will, because Matt J can't just have one slightly off day and then see you later. He's out, miss a penalty. But that could be an option for later on in games or whatever. Long season.
I wonder if Taylor's slightly changed his opinion on the captain as well. Because remember, Jake Taylor...
you can't. There's no way he could pull the captain off him now.
No, I mean not start the captain. I just wonder if... Because that's the tricky thing, isn't it? Because I think...
Yeah, but I don't think he won't start Matt J.
Ever.
Well, not ever, but he'll be the... I think that position is... He did the same with Law. Do you mean not that he was a captain, but he just this guy's playing here. I'd be very surprised.
I wonder as well. There's a kind of nuance to the long ball. We seem to have one setting on that, which is, and I'm not saying sometimes you don't just have to get rid of it, but we'll plant it right down the middle, high. So, like you said, the big defenders see it coming. Nombe's there, does his best, nothing he can do. But we know how strong he is, and if you put the ball into the corner, right, he can do all sorts of things, and he was doing that in the second half, wasn't he?
I don't mind the long balls into the channels are fine. No. I mean, because there you're going to win those. You've got much better chance of winning those second balls, and there's less emphasis on just holding up one man in the middle, holding it up. They've got people around him, but it didn't work at all. Just hooking it up to him. No. Most of the time, it was that sort of volleys or half volleys, just kind of aimlessly booted up.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the finish was excellent, wasn't it? Which takes Nombe to 3-3.
Yeah, all in front of the big bank. Loves it.
He loves it.
I mean, you got to keep that form going. I mean, that's good. We didn't play very well, and he scored. I mean, he was good all game actually. Like I said, apart from winning those headers, which he's never likely to do, but he had a really good game and received a lot of praise as a result from everyone.
I've been really impressed by him. I've been really impressed by Dieng, Brown, and Nombe.
Yeah.
And Dawson, of course.
It's so good having a kind of striker like Nombe that you can kind of really, get behind. I mean, he seems likeable and sort of I don't know, with Bowman, Bowman sort of I'm sure he isn't a kind of sort of personality void, but he could come across a bit like that.
Ouch.
No, but do you mean he's just sort of his face was a bit kind of gormless, wasn't it? And he didn't sort of, a lot of those players, you kind of think all it takes, you look at Ray and Nombe, they've just worked out that you can get everyone on side by just kind of
waving and clapping.
Yeah, waving and clapping and smiling at the big bank. But you get people I don't know, even people like Archie Collins, who sort of just walks over, give a vague clap in that direction and walk off. Do you mean it doesn't take much. It's not difficult. And then they love you forever. Do you mean
Oh, yeah. I mean, they love Nombe already.
Yeah, and fair enough. He's scoring some goals in front of him, so that's fair enough.
But they loved him before he'd
But
started.
Bowman scored a lot of goals, and I don't feel like he ever had the kind of affection that Nombe's already got. But just because he seems like he's got some charisma.
Yeah.
That's what it is with Bowman. Just like not very charismatic man, was he? And fair enough. Like, doesn't have to be. So it's only football. You don't need that. So
No, I loved it.
he's not a Butlin's red coat.
No, but Nombe could be.
He could be.
Yeah.
And perhaps, it's never too late for that, I imagine. Football's a short career.
Yeah.
And he's been Butlins have got sites all over the country,
Or Pontins if Butlins don't work out.
Pontins, I believe, is blue coat though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But were they sort of enemies, weren't they? Billy Butlin and I know he's called Billy Butlin. I don't know what the Pontins fella's called. Peter Pontin. Presumably.
My brother-in-law famously was once a mascot of a beach resort. Billy Beachball.
Really?
Yeah, he had to
Well,
dress
he's
up.
dressed up as a beach ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of Zorb, like one of those Zorb things.
Kind of. He looked more like Humpty Dumpty, to be honest.
Right, yeah.
If you can picture it. I think that was, I want to say Ilfracombe, somewhere up that way.
Right. Yeah, what have they got at, what's the one at Creeley?
The Creeley Bear.
The Creeley bit, that's a bit boring, isn't it?
Yeah, I know many alumni of the Creeley Bear School. That's why
Really?
mates have done that, yeah.
We're not suggesting that Sam Nombe does that. You don't have to have any charisma to do that. You just call it as waving. But the Butlin's red coat,
They've even painted
got to
the
have
smile on for you, haven't they, on Billy Beachball?
yeah. Butlin's red coat. I think pretty sure you've got to have the three, haven't you? It's singing, dancing, and what's the other one? Acting.
Do you think?
You got to do it all. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, something to think about, Sam. If
Minehead. I mean, Minehead's
he's going-
not nice, but there's a nice beach.
yeah,
Town is an absolute dump.
Minehead.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Speaking of Minehead, next up, Stevenage Way.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, like, speaking of Minehead, let me tell you what's in Minehead.
No, I don't know what's in Minehead apart from Butlins.
No, I meant like, mine.
Oh, what's in Minehead?
Yeah.
Well, what's in Jake Taylor's head?
Jake Taylor's head is, thank goodness we're not sponsored by Burger King anymore.
I tell you what's on his head, not hair.
Jake. Anyway, more of that in a second. Welcome back to the Big Bank Theory podcast. Remember, you can always get in touch with us in the normal ways. We're on email, bigbankpod@gmail.com. We're on Twitter @BigBankPod, and you can find us on Facebook as well with the Big Bank Theory podcast.
Yeah.
I tell you, he's got a lovely head of hair.
Leave us a review, you shit.
Please.
Who's got a lovely head of hair?
George Ray.
Has he?
Luscious.
Just got a bit of hair on the top of his head, hasn't he?
Oh, it looks nice to me.
I mean, it's no Kyle Taylor.
No, yeah, that's true. Talking of lovely heads of hair, it was Wickham that we played in the Carabao. Gareth Ainsworth's Wickham.
Oh, of course. I mean, yeah, talk about lovely head of hair. I mean, is it lovely? Got a lot
luscious.
of it.
It's
not luscious.
what do you call a rainforest? What's the word for rainforest?
Greasy woods?
No.
Big greasy forest? That's what I call Ainsworth's hair.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
Yeah. When I said what's on Jake Taylor's head, not hair, I didn't mean he's got sort of all hair that's made out of a load of knots or that his hair's in knots. I mean, he doesn't have any. He's shaved his head.
It's gone, hasn't it?
Yeah.
He's made the decisive executive decision.
Yeah.
The buzz cut.
Yeah.
The grade one.
Grade 0, I reckon.
The Jeff Bezos.
The Bezos, yeah.
He's
Hitman.
gone down. He's gone down Stevenage Barbers, and he said, "Make me look like the Bezos." And
Well, surely that's the advantage of calling it a day on the old hair, is you can do that yourself, can't you? Barbers is no longer an expense you need to concern yourself with.
There's no way Jeff Bezos is doing it himself.
Well, Bezos might not, but Jake Taylor, obviously, he doesn't want to, just get his wife to do it if he can't reach the back. Easy. Pair of clippers off,
Yeah.
pop into Sally's,
Yeah.
top of Sidwell.
Is that still there?
I believe so.
Okay.
Well, I've no idea. Pop in there,
Yeah.
get yourself a set of clippers,
Yeah.
Babyliss or whatever. One-time payment. Do it yourself.
Yeah. All right.
Save yourself. Some people love going to the barbers, don't they? But they,
Yeah.
have a little chat. And these days, they give you a little shot of rum or something while you're having your haircut.
They
don't
do,
they?
yeah. You know
Set your nose on fire.
yeah, lovely. When Bezos goes to the barbers, and they're like, "How's business?" Do you think they bother?
No.
Been anywhere nice on holiday? Yeah, space.
Yeah, space. Any good? Bit cold.
Yeah, Jake Taylor. I tell you what, talking to Taylors while we're at it, of course, Saturday was the Matt Taylor derby.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's got way more publicity than anything else Exeter City's ever done since Jackson.
Well, since Watkins in the England team, because they wouldn't shut up about City then. But
Oh, right, that's true.
Definitely since then.
I mean, it made it onto Radio 1. They were talking about it this morning because apparently the weatherman... First of all, BBC Breakfast sent someone to interview Matt Taylor and Matt Taylor. And then the weatherman on Breakfast News was also called, you guessed it.
Matt Taylor.
Correct. No, David
Also,
Brain.
there's another footballer called Matt Taylor.
Yeah.
Who I don't know who he plays for at the minute, but sort of, a kind of like lower league kind of guy. And it's a very popular name, isn't it? Everyone was called Matthew or Matt. I mean, in the 90s and the 80s and 90s, everyone.
Yeah.
There's always one or two in your class at school, aren't there?
Yeah.
And you reckon Taylor's the second most popular name?
I got a feeling.
Now, is that
true.
because England, Britain, whatever, England, had a lot of tailors?
Guess so.
Like, made a lot of clothes.
Or maybe they're very promiscuous.
Taylor?
Promiscuous Taylor.
I don't know what that means.
Added off a lot.
What's that got to do with tailoring?
No, like they begat a lot of children.
Oh, right.
Like Steve Taylor has 18 children.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
He went forth and he multiplied.
Good-looking boys, aren't they? All the ones we know.
Yeah.
I don't think Matt Taylor's actually got any kids. R1, has he?
Hasn't he?
Not yet.
Recently married.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's Jake Taylor, Kyle Taylor, 3 Matt Taylors, Lyle Taylor.
Yeah.
Many.
Dennis Taylor.
Yeah.
There's lots. There's lots out there.
Anyway.
But yeah, so that's but we're going to meet for the first time our old friend Jake Taylor.
It's at Stevenage, isn't it? It's at the Lamex.
It's at the Lamex. Yeah, we won't be going this time. We went once, didn't we?
I'm never going again. My eyes have never recovered from Tisdale besmirching them.
Well, you didn't actually see that, did
No, I
you?
didn't, no.
And
But I feel like I did.
It's debated.
That's totally grown in folklore.
Yeah.
It? We're all like, we all saw it.
Yeah.
He looked me in the eye, and he called.
I mean,
me.
Perryman did come out at the end and try and get everyone going, didn't he?
He did.
That happened. That definitely happened.
Yeah, I saw that.
Anyway, so I mean, it's going to be a fun one, isn't it? I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but only not because Stephen is a nice place. I'm sure it isn't, but like, just I like Jake Taylor. I didn't mind him going. He was great for the club, I thought, and I've got no ill will towards him.
No, I tell you what's gone down since he went, and what's gone up for Stevenage.
Well, the bookings.
Bookings,
Yeah.
yellow card count.
We could have done with some of those. His yellow cards were always good ones.
grab someone on the way through, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, that's like probably his best skill is the tactical booking.
Yeah.
It really is. It was like, and like, he was a good player too. It just shows how good he was at that. But I mean, he'll, I don't think he scored for them yet, but I think he has done quite well. He's in there kind of, I think that I had a brief look on their Instagram or something, and he was in a kind of like, who's your player of the month out of these 3 or 4?
Okay.
And a lot of people were saying Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know how great he was for us.
Yeah.
He really was, wasn't he? Real servant.
I mean, yeah. Over the course of the time here, he was like a really good player, and he yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing him again. Although I won't probably see it. So.
Question. It's International Week, right?
Oh, so you're saying will they stick on iFollow again?
Because they did with the Forest Green game when England were playing, because it was International Week.
Right, maybe.
So we might be able to see it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We'll find out about that.
Stevens, they started quite well, didn't they? They started really well. They've dropped off a bit since, although they beat Hartlepool at the weekend.
Yeah, sort of. I think they're 17th, sort of.
But they're
a bit of a mid-table team, aren't they? Really?
They are really. Yeah. They've also got Luke Norris, who, I mean, people were really into us trying to get a couple of years ago, weren't they? And he's really dropped off a cliff.
Yeah, wasn't he an Argyle boy at one point?
Swindon, wasn't he, for a long time?
Swindon, that's it. Yeah.
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 Put him in the same category as Brett Pittman.
Yeah.
The days of
not actually that good, but probably had one good season.
Yeah, or 10 years ago was really good, Anyway, that's Saturday. Also this week is the old Papa John's.
Yeah, Papa John's, Cheltenham away. Our old friends Cheltenham. Still got that long throw boy?
I don't know, actually. I know they're struggling in League One a bit.
Are they?
Yeah.
It's not Keith Curl anymore, is it? Was he ever there? Was that him?
No,
it wasn't him, was it?
Yeah, it's all starting to switch around a bit, isn't it? Have you followed this with Newport? Flynn's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. I was wondering whether we might, because he's the reason we've got
Amond.
Padraig Amond, didn't
Yeah.
he? Because he fell out with him.
Yeah.
I was wondering, what, are they going to call him back?
They've got some good strikers, haven't they, Newport? So he
Right.
might, and then, like, they're not short on a few.
Right, okay. Well, that's, I mean, we'll just assume not for the time being. Yes. So,
I don't think anyone's been announced yet. I'm Googling rapidly.
Well, don't worry about that. I don't think anyone gives a shit about who Newport's manager is.
You might do.
Oh, okay, well. Go on then. Who's Stevenage's manager? Because that's who we're actually playing.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair comment. Well, I'll give you all the information right now. No manager yet for Newport. They have got the amusingly titled Wayne Hatswell as their caretaker.
Rain Hatswell. What, Newport?
Yeah, Hatswell.
Does he hat well?
Don't know. I tell you who could do with a hat. Jake Taylor.
Paul Tisdale used to hat well.
I wonder if he'll go. The reason I'm indulging myself in this, really, Dan, is I wonder if Tisdale will go to Newport. It's within his
Maybe.
commutable belt.
I feel like he's having like a nice old time, and he just sort of being an advisor at Colchester. Lovely old
Is
job,
he
isn't
still?
it? Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Newport, Stevenage's manager is a fella called Alex Revel.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. You have.
Heir to the Revels fortune, no doubt.
Yeah, he's been around.
What's
as
your
a player.
favourite Revel?
Do you know what? Can I shock you? Never had a Revel.
What? Of course you have.
No, I haven't.
You've never even tried one.
Not on purpose. It's just never come up in conversation.
Of course, that's impossible. It's impossible. You have had when you just didn't know about it. We've just forgotten. Of course you have.
I don't forget anything that significant.
You've never had a Revel.
I don't think so.
You have. That's ridiculous.
Hold on. Person can't eat everything.
Yeah, but they've been around forever. Just by the law of averages, someone would have stuck one in a party bag for you when you were a youngster.
That's not what it sounds
bit
like.
Of cake and a
listeners.
hanky and a couple Revels.
I don't think I've had any Revels.
Of course you have.
No,
it's mental.
No.
Do you even know what
Well,
they've
it's like
got?
a Malteser in it, but with something else inside.
No, there's loads of different stuff. That's the whole point.
Oh,
of
what's your
Revels.
favourite then?
The coffee one.
King of the Revels.
No one likes the coffee one. I love it. You got a toffee one in there. You got a little kind of like Malteser. One that's a bit like a minstrel, peanut.
They're the ones that look like they're sponsored by Bradford City, right?
Yeah, orange and brown.
Yeah. I've never seen them. I mean, I've seen them. I
The
never had
amber
them.
and chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's that? Sutton. Anyway, I tell you why Alex, I think it's Ravel. You know him.
It's not. It's Revel. It's one of those people that go like, oh no, it's not Revel. It's Revel. Just trying to make them sound posh. It's like,
Who's your favourite motorbike rider? Mine's Evel Canevel. Like that.
no, because Evil Knievel already sounds better than Evel Knievel. I don't mean that. I mean when your name's like, like the
Yeah, I
classic
do know.
Hyacinth Bouquet.
Yeah. All right.
Your name's Bucket.
Well, whatever his name is, he's been playing for Stevenage for a long time. We've played against him several times.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
he's just gone. He's a Matt Taylor job.
And before that, he was Northampton. We've definitely played plenty of games against him.
Okay.
He was wearing the Burger King shirt, no doubt. Yeah. So that's him. I don't know. We've already drawn a lot of games, Dan.
We can't draw this one, can we? I think in a way I wouldn't rather lose. But like I said, we have already drawn too many games. It's kind of like we've got to start winning those, and we've got to start winning them quick.
We've only won 3 games.
Yeah.
And we've drawn 6.
Yeah, that's mad.
And on Saturday...
It's good to not lose any, but that's just you can't be dropping that many points, And a lot of them are very winnable games. Walsall at home is a win. It's a winnable
and
game.
Twice ahead.
So Sutton.
Twice ahead and a missed penalty.
Yeah.
So we should have been... We basically should have had 3 goals, right? You can't throw those kind of games away.
No.
Really disappointing. And that's where you miss someone like Jake Taylor. And I think Dieng is that kind of player.
Well, Dieng at the moment can't make it through 90 minutes by the looks of things, can he? And that's probably just because I think he had a bit of an injury and stuff and whatever. Yeah. Hopefully that will change.
And
because Nige came on for a minute at the weekend. But
come on, we shouldn't be losing at home, ahead twice. Also, only had 120 people there. There's no reason at all why we in winnable positions don't finish that game off.
No, and it's worrying too, isn't it? Because you got a good goalkeeper, and like you kind of think,
Yeah.
well, none of them are really even his fault, right?
No.
Like not really. You
And
know?
think how many he's kept us in as well.
I know, yeah, yeah. So
It's worrying,
we've
really.
got to win that one, really. I mean, we
Yeah.
don't, but I think it would be a good for the kind of. We've got to get on a bit of a run, haven't we? That's what we need to do about now. Is get on a bit of a winning run.
We
Get that
scored
confidence
14,
up.
right? Which is like joint fourth best in the league. It's not acceptable to have drawn 6 of 10.
Yeah.
6.
Well, I mean, let's look at right at the beginning of the season. There's a lot of personnel changes. We didn't even have all
Sure.
the players in. Do you know by that at that point? So I know it's taken a little bit of time for them to kind of, gel. We talked about gel. And it was looking like it's starting to happen.
Yeah.
And I still think it probably is getting there. Collins is back. You're getting towards having a kind of almost a full strength squad.
Yeah.
Coley. I mean, forget about Stubbs, but like the rest of them.
Yeah.
So now's the time to kick on and get a few wins put together. You know,
Yeah.
we need a little run of wins.
Obviously, you look at it. When you look at the draws, you're like, well, okay, Forest Green are running away with it, and we managed to draw against them. That's acceptable. Harrogate are having a really good season. Long old trip. We managed to draw with them. Fine.
Yeah, some of them are like, you're happy with. What was it? Was it Hartlepool as well? I mean, that wasn't a bad result to get that
Hartlepool
draw.
last week, yeah, but
Not Walsall at home though.
not
And then when
Walsall
they
at
just
home,
keep
and
adding
not
up.
Barrow away. Like, it's
No.
not enough to say it was a long trip and they know what they're doing. Like, we know what we're doing.
Well, we should do. Yeah.
And you know what? I'll take a 0-0 over a. I think Walsall's really disappointing because of the lead twice at home.
Yeah, and just conceding 2 at home.
Yeah.
Against, and I mean, concede 2 at home, sure, but if you get outplayed and by a better side, but that's not what happened.
No, and like we said, Dawson
Like
saved 2 or
Walsall aren't
3.
mugs. They were decent. They're decent, but they're not like, oh, fair enough. I mean, like we said, Forest Green 0-0 at home. Fair enough. They're probably going to win the league, or they're definitely going to be up there around
Yeah.
it. Walsall.
And, there's no pushovers in this league. No one's, like, terrible this year and hasn't been for a while. So, like, it's not kind of enough to expect, like, oh, they're a decent team, so we probably won't beat them. Like,
Yeah.
no, that's not enough of a rationale.
But again, like I said, with Taylor's post-match, he did say all the right things in relation to this about how there's too many draws, and he's got to change things now, and it's not been good enough, and we're going to try something else.
Yeah.
And that's going to be that means changing someone else is taking penalties. We might change. It looks like we're going to change the system to try and kind of like. I would suggest at some points it'll be a good idea to keep the 3 at the back against certain teams, but you got to look at. It looks like we've been for a couple of years capable of playing in those 2 kind of basic ways.
Yeah.
In those 2 basic kind of setups. So you got to go look at them going like Walsall at home, not playing 5 at the back. It's mad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Indeed. But also, I think you go 1-0 up after 4 minutes. Like, you can control that thing. You can do whatever you need to do. And Walsall, like, I hate it. I hate how all of them do it. But they knew exactly what they needed to do. So at 1-1, they're rolling around and they're.
Well, they did it 2-2 with like a good amount of time left to play, and you kind of think, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
They could have won the game.
Yeah, that's weird. But City at 1-0 need to think like, okay, the pressure's back on us. 'Cause, we're 1-0 up. We don't want to concede. And launch the ball into absolute space, like to give yourself some time. Roll around on the floor. Dawson sit on the ball. For, all that stuff.
Maybe when you're kind of like, because at that point when we're getting real sloppy, so at that point maybe you start doing that for a bit, just until you can kind of like just weather that storm a bit, see it out with a bit of the whatever. I don't know.
Matt Taylor's getting more dynamic, isn't he? Like his substitutions are coming
Which
quicker.
one? The weatherman.
Probably. But our Matt Taylor's getting more dynamic in that he makes, last year there were no subs ever, or, with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah,
so that's sped up. And if that's true that he changed it on half an hour, that's positive as well. I wonder if he needs to instill into some of them, like, what we're going to do here. And that's why he uses Nige, I think, because Nige does get it. He can't always do it, but he at least understands what he's trying to do.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But we're going to need to get a run together. We're going to need
Well, that's what we need. Yeah, we need that, and I'm pretty optimistic about it still, even though, like you said, all the draws are disappointing. I do see it's a side I like now. Do you mean I find you got a lot of exciting players, and I'm desperate to see a bit more of Edwards Awara.
Yeah.
And I thought, like I said, Josh Coley looked good too.
Yeah.
And you know, that's his first appearance. That's his first game in league football.
Yeah.
Like he's never played at this level before, and I thought he looked all right considering the situation. Kyle Taylor looked good in the last. I want to see more of him too. I think there's everything in place now for us to kind of take it by the scruff of the neck a little bit.
I mean, if
Nombe's in form, it's all
Yeah.
there. Do you
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
like
yeah.
they're getting to know each other? It's now, but it's not. It's not like it's now or never. But now is definitely the time when you should be going, right. Come on, let's do this.
I mean, if we want to be positive, we haven't lost since the 14th of August.
Yeah,
That was the Orient game. Before that, we hadn't lost since way back 13th of April. I know it's a different season. That was Barrow. So the positive is we're not losing games.
no, yeah, that is a positive. But it takes more, as we know all too well in this league. It takes a lot more than that.
Yep.
You just need wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Any other business? I've got a couple of bits and bobs.
Nothing on my end. What do you got?
Well, Ben Seymour
Oh, yeah.
and Jordan Dyer
Yeah.
have both popped off to Yeovil on an initial 1 month loan.
Yeah.
Now, I think Jordan Dyer's, that's kind of an expected move. I mean,
That'd be good for him.
that'll be good for him. We've got a lot of players ahead of him inside. Ben Seymour, it's a bit disappointing, isn't it? But it's been pretty clear for a while that it's not kind of his push into the first team hasn't worked. But like everyone would have wanted it to, including him. Given that number 9 shirt, didn't we? I know it feels like a lifetime ago that happened now. A couple of years ago.
Yeah. No, it does.
And he hasn't been able to find any sort of place for himself in the side, has he? And that's just down to this getting goals really. And I don't think that's because a lot of the time we haven't necessarily played to his strengths. We haven't played systems that kind of suited his game. But I think he's always scored goals at every other level other than League Two men's. Do you know that, like, so, and he's still a young guy. I still think there's a good chance. I still think there's a chance that he's got a future at City.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, I hope he scores a load for Yeovil. I don't think they've played yet since he did.
No,
they
they're
didn't play
playing
weekend.
Tuesday night, actually.
In the Carabao or in the
No,
they're not
in
in that,
the-
are they?
In the National League.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he should, I suppose.
Well, there's nothing to suggest he won't.
Yeah, he should slot in, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
And I'm just checking through, and they've had a few suspensions and that, so
Right.
of their forward players. So yeah, probably that's what's preempted it. I feel bad for him. It's the 9. I think the 9 thing is the millstone around his neck, really.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help, especially when you go a few games without scoring and people start mentioning it, and then you're also number 9. It definitely doesn't help you, but I don't think it's the reason why he's not scored. I think that's down to more kind of, like I said, his size. Maybe he's small, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
I just think it's the reason people are reading more into it. I think
absolutely. It's definitely highlights it, don't it? Like, and we just don't really play a system where that's going to benefit. We don't play a big man, little man. He would probably do pretty well out of a big man, little man situation, wouldn't he? You know,
could do. Yeah,
So, best of luck to him.
yeah. I hope it works out, Ben.
The other thing was, just I thought I'd briefly mention Kevin Hack,
Oh,
Super
yeah.
Kev,
Yeah,
sadly passed away a couple of weeks ago. Nice tribute at the start of the match on Saturday. A minute's applause or something it was, and he's just. I feel like he's just been around forever.
yeah.
Like in my life as an Exeter fan, he's always been there. Do you mean knocking around? And obviously, I mean, he used to do these soccer. I don't know what he was called. They always used to call it this, didn't they? Like sort of soccer day.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like sort of you at the club, you know,
Yeah.
or wherever.
Yeah.
They weren't always at St James's Park, but sometimes they were, and you go and do like a weekend of sort of like football training and sort of like little games and little competitions and stuff. And he was always there, and he's always a really nice bloke and like, sad one.
Yeah, well,
He'd
he
be
was
missed.
still doing all the kids stuff until
Yeah, with the
very
charity
recently,
and
wasn't he?
the collection buckets and stuff. He's just one of those people that everyone who goes to League Two football or lower league football knows that at every place there's faces around the ground, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? There's just people who you see there every week, and you've seen them every week there, or every time for years, and sometimes your entire life.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? They're absolutely like, oh, there's that guy. Like some of the stewards.
Oh,
Some of
absolutely.
the stewards, you go like literally like. There's a couple of them where you think like, I've been looking at you stood there in a steward jacket since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And everything else changes around, the ground changes, blah blah blah. But then these people don't, and he was one of them totally, and it's a sad one.
Yeah, they'll miss him, eh?
Yeah, and he did great. I mean, that is great work doing all that kind of stuff for a club. I mean, it's all the kind of little bits around it that kind of help build that kind of community feel, which is why everyone likes Exeter City and why people don't just support one of the Premier League teams off the telly, because of stuff like that,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nice one, Kev. Well, it's been a weird old week of like strange things, hasn't it? Like there's word on the street that Ivor Doble's not very well. You heard this?
No, I hadn't. I mean, he
he's
must be pretty old now.
He's in his 90s, and doesn't go to the football anymore. Not because of health, because he doesn't kind of feel like that welcome and that kind of thing. And I think that's the kind of relationship you want to restore before it's too late, isn't it?
Oh, right, I didn't know anything about that. Well, yeah.
I mean, that's just the internet rumours, but there's talk of that. And obviously he was did a difficult job throughout all sorts of mad periods of time in the club's history.
Yeah, big part of it, of the recent history of the club, isn't he? What we know to be Exeter City. Yeah, sad too. Hopefully that can get sorted out.
Yeah, hope so.
The other thing is, I draw your attention to the month, John.
Yes, it's October.
October now.
Yes, October.
And above the Suzuki track away end stand, whatever it's called.
Well, I've got a clear view of the houses behind.
Yeah.
Isn't that what I'm supposed to have?
I don't think you're supposed to be able to see that particular area of St James's Road / Oxford Road anymore.
Oh.
I think you should be looking at a lovely advert for Vosper's in HD.
Oh,
and yet,
the scoreboard.
Yeah, where is it?
Yeah, we were promised it in September.
I heard September.
And yet now it's October.
Yep.
That would suggest it's late.
Brexit, I reckon. It'll be in a shipping container in Calais.
Yeah, I reckon you're right.
We've already said this, I think, haven't we?
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Well, it's not there. So wherever it is, it's not there. It's not where it should be.
Can we have our money back?
Yeah, how much have we spent
And
on
I
this
do
thing?
mean our money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You just imagine they're quite a lot. Although I don't know. Like it's a bit like, why don't we just get a slightly older one? When you buy when the brand new TVs come out.
Yeah.
In Dixon's or Currys.digital.
And
Whatever
the tallest
it's called
man
these
in
days.
Exeter sells it to you.
The tallest man in the world sells you a telly in Currys.digital.
Yeah.
Do you remember they used to have the games console in there that you could play on?
Yeah.
Like there would be like an N64.
Be a massive queue of kids on
Big
a Saturday.
queue of kids, yeah. And like my friend was once in there, and he said when he was young, and he said there was the N64 was just out, and he was like there playing it, and some little chubby American kid was there, and he went, "Oh my God, it's 64-bit."
I mean, yeah.
She's very quaint now, but at the time it was very impressive.
That mattered back then.
Yeah, so, but if you go into one of those places, I mean, I know people don't go in shops anymore, but wherever you get your brand new telly now,
Yeah.
Richer Sounds,
Yeah.
when they're brand new and the newest thing out, they cost so much money.
Yeah.
So expensive. But the minute that they're not the very latest thing, the price just plummets. You can pick them up for like 80 quid.
That's what we need.
So someone's paid 500 quid for this telly, and then the next, give it 6 months,
Yeah.
you can get this. That someone else bought the exact same one for like a fraction. So maybe we just get a second-hand one. I maybe suggest that Julian Tagg or whoever's in charge of that rings up the scoreboard company, cancel that, and then just keep an eye on Gumtree or Facebook Marketplace.
You want to go down once on Sybil Street?
Yeah, or hit up the lads in Once.
Got any scoreboards?
They've got everything in there.
They have.
If you want a big old sovereign ring,
You could cross out where it says Chiefs, couldn't you? Don't even need to cross out much of it.
Yeah.
Keep
Snap
the big
that
C.
bit off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exeter.
smoke machine.
Do you know what really annoys me?
What?
That, but also when the people on the telly, and this is Sky in particular, don't call us Exeter City, and they do it for everyone, right?
I think you said this before.
It really annoys me.
What, you don't like just being called Exeter?
No,
I do.
do it properly.
I don't mind it at all because I think.
Exeter are playing Plymouth. No, Exeter City are playing Plymouth.
Yeah,
Argyle.
but do you know what? The reason I don't mind it is because it's like, yeah, we are Exeter. Ooh, are. We are Exeter, as the song goes.
Yeah.
We are, like, there isn't another, there's no Exeter town, or there's no Exeter, and I don't even acknowledge Exeter Chiefs. So,
because it's in Ottery.
because it's in Ottery, and it's a ridiculous name, and it's rugby, which is a ridiculous sport, but, you know, we are the only team in Exeter, so they can call you that. If it's you can't say Manchester, because you know, which one?
Yeah.
There's only one team in Exeter.
I understand. I just think do it properly.
Well, I mean, take it up with them.
I will. Obviously I don't care in normal life when they're like chatting. Well, Matt Taylor's Exeter. You're fine. It's when they're like, yes, we're here at St James Park and Exeter have gone 1-0 up. Exeter City have gone 1-0 up.
Okay, I like it. What about, they don't do it on the. Do they still read the scores out like Exeter City
Yeah.
1?
Yeah, proper.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is that always been the same bloke, or is it now someone doing an impression of the guy it used to
It's
be?
a woman now.
Oh, is it?
Mm.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Does she do it in that voice?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. There's that tone, isn't it?
The more things change, the more things stay the same.
Yeah, that tone that's just perfect. You already know what the score is before they get to the second.
Oh,
one.
it's absolute kind of like takes me back in time here and that. You mean to like when you're actually listening to that to find out the scores.
Yeah.
Like you're just like waiting on it to say.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyway, any more business?
I don't think so.
Well, I'll see you on iFollow, listeners, for Stevenage.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Hopefully. And if not,
we'll see you on the radio.
go up Chaddar Gorge for the Saturday.
Can you watch it there, can you?
No, just go out for the day
They've got
out.
a big screen in there. Oh, right, just go to Cheddar Gorge.
Chaddar Gorge.
Cheddar Gorge.
Yeah, and then listen on your headphones. Although it probably wouldn't work down the tunnel, would it? Down a gorge.
Probably you won't get much signal down a gorge, I wouldn't have thought, no.
Not much signal down a gorge.
What are those caves called?
Wookie Hole.
Wookie Hole, yeah.
Kent's Cavern.
Kent's Cavern. Speaking of people using mascots, we knew someone who was the mascot of Kent's Cavern, wasn't he? It was like a little caveman. He's this little guy we know. He used to dress up as a caveman, and show people around the caves, or take photos with kids in front of a stalagmite.
Yeah.
Or a stalactite.
Yeah. You know how to remember that, right?
Is it stalactite is on the top?
Yeah. Tights come down. That's my top tip for remembering. Anyway, thanks for listening. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Your tights come down.
See you soon.